Try that again. Hey, what's going on, everybody? It's a lovely Saturday evening. I just came back from hanging out with a friend of mine, and I've been listening to the new release from Lil Wayne and Rich the Kid, a 10-track album which is called Trust Fund Babies. It released late Thursday, early Friday morning. Feeling Like Tunchi, which is the first song on the album, was released, I think, like Thursday afternoon. There was a stream showing the making of the video, and then the video actually premiered. I didn't get to see the stream or the premiere, but I did watch the video. I don't know, a few hours after it released or like the next morning. And when I saw that the track was announced, because there was a reminder for the premiere on YouTube, I figured it was just a collab track, just one song between the two of them. And then I think it was yesterday, I was like, let me go listen to that new Wayne song again. Because I really wasn't extremely vibing to it or digging it when I first heard it. Because I think there's too much autotune on some of the vocals. But overall, it's a fun song. And when I saw the whole track listing, I was like, yo, they released the whole project together. All right, let's go. So I listened to, between yesterday and today, I listened to the whole thing. I gotta say, it was better than what I expected going into it, I think. Because really, I haven't listened to Rich the Kid in a long time. I didn't even know he was super active in actually making new music. I've seen him like make more of like just celebrity like appearances recently. Like I saw him in a Daniel Mac video, the guy that goes up to like the supercars and asks people what they do for a living. And I remember he made an appearance in the video, and they didn't even like caption it like Rich the Kid rapper. I forget what he said. He just kept repeating one phrase over and over. But so I wasn't really expecting a whole lot from the collab. I was like, oh, there's probably going to be some good songs, or Wayne's going to be really awesome, and I'm going to be a little bit let down by Rich the Kid. But I have to say, this is probably the most on point lyrically I've heard Rich the Kid maybe ever. So Headlock's a great song. That's the second track. Trust Fund Babies is a fun one. That's the third track. Admit It's a cool one. It's kind of like a love song, but it's also kind of like saying like, admit it, like if we were still in love, you would hate me, that type of thing. Buzzin's a cool song, the one featuring YG. Like SHH spelled out, that's a cool one. So yeah, there's a lot of fun songs on the project. It really reminds me of a release from Key Glock and Young Dolph, where it's released under one of the artist's pages or, recording groups or whatever, but it features the other artist for the whole project, and they kind of trade back and forth, and it's almost hard to tell who the lead artist is at spots because, they take turns doing the hooks or take turns starting or closing off the songs. So I gotta say, I didn't really feel like they carried one another at any spots, but I do think that there was a little bit too much auto-tune on Feeling Like Tunchi, like I said. And there's spots where Rich the Kid's delivery kind of changed. Like Trust Fund Babies is a good example. He starts out rapping very clear, because he's the first one rapping on the track, and he raps like very clear, very well enunciated delivery. And then I think it's the second or the third time he comes back in to do another verse, and he's kind of like slurring and mumbling the first half of each bar, where you can kind of hear like 75 or 80% of it pretty clearly, but like the first two words you're like, huh? And then you're like, oh, your brain's kind of figuring it out as you're listening to the rest of the line. And don't get me wrong, I do like mumble rap or, some artists that were birthed from that wave of hip hop. Like I really like Ski Mask the Slump God. I think Little Skies is underrated, even though he's not really mumble rap. He's kind of grouped in with those guys. Lil Uzi Vert, I still can rock with, and he's definitely got more lyrical. If you listen to his feature on Tyler's album on Juggernaut, that verse goes hard. That's one of my favorite verses I've ever heard from him. So I do like some of these artists that came from the wave of mumble rap, but I know there's times where they use their vocals as more of an instrument and less as, oh, I'm gonna make sure all my words are pronounced properly, and I'm just kind of adding to the vibe of the song. But there's spots where it's like I feel like they kind of had to pick. They kind of had to pick and choose where they were doing that, and there's songs where, like I said, if he would have just rapped normal throughout the whole thing, I think it would have hit so much harder. But I gotta give it, overall, there's probably about 6 or 7 songs that I could throw on, bump in the whip, have on in the background while I'm cleaning, or like, have headphones in while I'm playing something, on Xbox or whatever, and just, bump out and vibe to it. And it rocks in the whip too. Like, I've been driving around listening to it before I made this review, actually. That's where I am now. So overall, I'll give it a 7.3, a 7.5, somewhere around there. I feel like I would have scored it higher had it come out maybe in August or even last month, because I feel like it's almost a summer project. That's just the vibe I get off of it, off the cover artwork, off of some of the production. But it's fun, and like I said, I'll probably revisit it and listen to some more of the tracks and have them on repeat for the next few weeks. So yeah, if I had to do a top 5, I would probably say, in no particular order, I would say Headlock, I would say Admit It, Trust Fund Babies, Shh, and the track Buzzin' featuring YG. Honorable mentions would probably be Feeling Like Tunchi and Bleedin'. And yeah. So I really can't say there's any bad songs on the release. There's just songs I don't like as much as other ones, if that makes sense. So yeah, that's all for now. Have a good one. Check it out. Be safe. Later.